Good evening. This is All India Radio, and I'm Tanvi Taneja with the news at 9. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses the Silver Jubilee celebrations of National Human Rights Commission, says the government is committed to improve the lives of people by ensuring their rights. Centre to set up a committee of senior judicial persons to examine all issues emanating from the Me Too India movement. Terrorism remains the most overwhelming threat to the common goals of development and prosperity, says Sushma Swaraj at the SCO meeting. Madras High Court transfers alleged corruption case against Tamilnadu Chief Minister Palaniswamy to CBI. India continues to shine in the Asian Para Games, adding 5 gold on the penultimate day. And in cricket, West Indies closed day 1 at 295 for 7 against India in the Hyderabad Test. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said National Human Rights Commission has an important role to play in the government's efforts to achieve sustainable development goals. Addressing an event in New Delhi today to mark the 25th anniversary of the founding of the NHRC, Mr. Modi said the government is committed to improve the lives of people by ensuring their rights. Mr. Modi cited Ayushman Bharat, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Swachh Bharat and Saubhagya Yojana as schemes aimed towards providing dignified life for all. The Prime Minister said NHRC has acted as the voice of the weaker sections and played an important role in nation building. He said, during the last 4 years, serious efforts have been made to raise the dignity of the oppressed sections of society.
मानव अधिकार की रक्षा हमारी संस्कृति का अहम हिस्सा है। हमारी परंपराओं में हमेशा व्यक्ति के जीवन, समता, समानता, उसकी गरिमा के प्रति सम्मान, इसको स्वीकृति मिली हुई है। अधिकारों को सुनिश्चित करने वाले एनएचआरसी जैसे अनेक संस्थान, कमीशन और ट्रिब्यूनल भी है। हमारी व्यवस्था उन संस्थाओं की आभारी है जो हर देशवासी के अधिकार को संरक्षित करने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध है।
The Prime Minister said the government believes in the mantra of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas.
हमारी सरकार सबका साथ, सबका विकास इस मंत्र को सेवा का माध्यम मानती है। ये अपने आप में ही मानव अधिकारों के सुरक्षा की गारंटी की तरह काम कर रही है। बेटी बचाओ, बेटी पढ़ाओ अभियान की वजह से हरियाणा, राजस्थान समेत अनेक राज्यों में बेटियों की संख्या में भारी वृद्धि हुई है। प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना के तहत 2022 में जब भारत की आजादी के 75 साल होंगे, हर उस व्यक्ति को मकान मिलना चाहिए जिसके सर पे छत नहीं है।
Speaking on the occasion, Home Minister Rajnath Singh said NHRC has a very important place in the country's institutional framework. He said women's rights are equally important and the government is working towards providing safe environment to women. In his address, NHRC Chairman Justice H.L. Dattu said the Commission's constant endeavour has been to make itself more accessible to people. On the occasion, Mr. Modi issued a postage stamp and special cover. He also launched the new version of the NHRC website, which is more user-friendly and accessible to persons with special needs. The Ministry of Women and Child Development will set up a committee of senior judicial and legal persons as members to examine all issues emanating from the Me Too India movement. The panel will look into the legal and institutional framework which is in place for handling complaints of sexual harassment at workplaces and advise the ministry on how to strengthen the frameworks. Ms. Menka Gandhi said sexual harassment cases at workplaces will be dealt with zero tolerance. The minister urged working women across all sectors to come out fearlessly and report cases of any form of sexual harassment. She assured that the government will ensure all possible assistance in such cases. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj today said terrorism remains the most overwhelming threat to the common goals of development and prosperity. Speaking at the SCO meeting of the Council of Heads of Government in Dushanbe, Tajikistan, Mrs. Swaraj said the governments must assume their national responsibility and cooperate with each other. She said India is determined to work together in SCO on environmental friendly energy alternatives to ensure sustainable development. Ms. Swaraj said India shares the desire of the SCO members for enhanced connectivity.
We believe that all connectivity initiatives must be based on the principles of respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity, consultations, good governance, transparency, viability and sustainability.
Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said the presence of terror infrastructure and the state support to terrorists in the immediate neighbourhood is constantly testing India's patience. In an address at the Institute of Strategic Research in Paris, she said concerted efforts are required to choke financing and supply of arms to the terror groups, besides disrupting the recruitment and mobilization of foreign terrorists. Delivering her lecture on the theme India-France Defence Engagement in a Multipolar World, Mrs. Sitharaman said her visit is a reaffirmation of India's commitment to the strategic partnership with France, especially in the critical area of defence cooperation. The Defence Minister is on a 3-day visit to France to further bolster Indo-French strategic ties. President Ramnath Kovind has said, in a democracy, information overload is always preferable to information deficit. Addressing the 13th Annual Convention of the Central Information Commission in New Delhi, Mr. Kovind said, right to information is about nurturing the social contract of trust between the citizen and the state, where both must have faith in each other. The President said, a related and parallel implication is to ensure rational use of public resources to check instances of corruption or waste. Prince Alois of Liechtenstein called on President Ramnath Kovind at Rashtrapati Bhavan today. Welcoming Prince Alois, Mr. Kovind said his visit to India is very special as the two countries are celebrating the 25th anniversary of the establishment of their diplomatic relations. The President said India is keen to strengthen its economic relations with Liechtenstein. He invited Liechtenstein's companies to take advantage of the Indian growth story. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. You can also log on to our website news.air.nic.in. The Madras High Court has transferred the probe into allegations of corruption against Tamil Nadu Chief Minister E.K. Palaniswamy to the Central Bureau of Investigation (CBI) today. The court said it does not prefer to express any opinion about the case and added that the order has been passed only to ensure free and fair investigation. The opposition DMK filed a petition saying large-scale irregularities have been committed in awarding highways works project. However, the State Directorate of Vigilance and Anti-Corruption in its report to the High Court said there is no material available to take cognizance of the charges. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has said that the country was currently in a transformational phase with the expansion of basic services such as healthcare. He said a visit to primary healthcare centres or super specialty hospitals like AIIMS would indicate that there is so much that needs to be done. Addressing the graduates of JIPMER Puducherry at its 9th annual convocation, Mr. Naidu said the government is focusing more and more on expanding basic services, including the healthcare to all citizens. Later, addressing a book release function in Chennai, the Vice President said, India is now on a growth trajectory. He said India have highly ambitious plans for her growth. He emphasized that a large part of such plans would work only if infrastructure projects like roads, dams, power plants and living spaces are established. He said metro rail systems, ports and other utilities are necessary to realize the country's potential. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has emphasized on the need to enhance and develop skills of the youngsters of the country to make them economically self-reliant through Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. Under the scheme, the National Skill Development Corporation, NSDC, has become the hub of different kind of training in various parts of the country. In West Bengal, the students of these training institutes have now started finding decent jobs. Here is a ground report from our Kolkata correspondent.
The training centers are paving the way for self-reliance and a life of dignity. The Bhanga Prachir area of West Bardhaman district of West Bengal has one such skill development center where candidates are taught to be assistant electricians, automotive service technicians, CCTV installation technicians, data operators and retail sales associates. Anita Hasda, a student here, says,
मैं यहाँ आई हूँ क्योंकि यहाँ का जो कोर्स हो रहा है वो फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट है, ये बहुत बड़ा कारण है। उसके अलावा यहाँ पर हमें हर चीज की सुविधा मिल रहा है।
Lucky Barnwal, another student, says,
आजकल के रेट में जो बड़े बड़े इंस्टीट्यूट है वहाँ पे पैसा बहुत ज्यादा डिमांड किया जाता है। एक पुअर और मिडिल क्लास फैमिली की बात करें उनके लिए बहुत टफ होता है कि वो इतना बड़ा एफर्ट कर सके। तो ये एक अच्छा सेंटर है जिसमें हम लोग फ्री में यहाँ कोर्स करते हैं।
So far, 1,469 students have been trained by this training center, and out of them, 885 students have secured jobs. The brightest thing about this center is that the skill development training comes free of cost to the trainees. Sudeep Banerjee, AIR News, Kolkata.
In Jammu and Kashmir, the third phase of municipal elections will be held tomorrow. In Jammu Division, 4 municipal committees in District Samba will be going to polls in the third phase. All arrangements have been made for the polls. The EVMs, along with polling staff, have been deployed to their respective polling stations after review by the District Election Officer of Samba. A total of 242 candidates are in fray for 56 wards of Samba district, which include 84 female candidates. The Sri Lankan Parliament today paid rich tributes to Mahatma Gandhi on his 150th birth anniversary celebrations. Participating in an adjournment motion, President Maithripala Sirisena termed Mahatma Gandhi as a great influencer in history who will continue to guide future generations due to his extraordinary qualities. The benchmark domestic stocks today bounced back strongly and recovered from big losses of previous session after European and other Asian shares logged positive trade. The rupee also registered a strong recovery. We have a report.
Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange climbed 732 points or 2.15% to 34,734. The Nifty at the National Stock Exchange also surged 238 points or 2.32% to 10,473. The rupee also logged strong recovery as it appreciated 56 paise to end at 73 rupees 56 paise against US dollar. Gold maintained its upward trend for the third straight day today at the Delhi bullion market, rising 140 rupees to trade at 32,120 rupees per 10 grams. Silver prices also went up by 500 rupees to 39,500 rupees per kilogram. This is Arjun Chaudhary with Sanjay Kumar Singh for AIR News.
In sports, India added 5 gold medals in its kitty after para-athletes, chess players and a shuttler grabbed yellow medals as the country continued its impressive performance at the Asian Para Games at Jakarta today. On the penultimate day of the Games, K. Janita Anto clinched the gold in women's individual rapid P1 chess, while Kishan Ganguly in the men's individual event claimed the top spot. In para badminton, Parul Parmar won the gold medal in the women's singles event. In men's javelin throw event, Neeraj Yadav clinched the gold, while in men's club throw, Amit Kumar bagged gold. And in the second and final cricket test against India, West Indies were 295 for 7 in their first innings on day 1 at Hyderabad. Earlier, electing to bat after winning the toss, the visitors lost wickets in quick succession. Kuldeep Yadav and Umesh Yadav took 3 wickets each and Ravichandran Ashwin won. India lead the series 1-0 after winning the first test at Rajkot. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses the Silver Jubilee celebrations of the National Human Rights Commission, says the government is committed to improve the lives of people by ensuring their rights. Centre to set up a committee of senior judicial persons to examine all issues emanating from the Me Too India movement. Terrorism remains the most overwhelming threat to the common goals of development and prosperity, says Sushma Swaraj at the SCO meeting. Madras High Court transfers alleged corruption case against Tamilnadu Chief Minister E.K. Palaniswamy to CBI. India continues to shine in the Asian Para Games, adding 5 gold on the penultimate day. And in cricket, West Indies closed day 1 at 295 for 7 against India in the Hyderabad test. And that is all in the news at 9. Good night.